And I had to learn this the hard way, but just word to the wise for anybody out there, and I'm sure you're aware of this now too. Anytime people want to do an interview, always record your own audio at least, just so when they try to twist it, you can have that backup to prove that they're liars. I've wondered, Pastor Bruce, and I have a feeling that this is coming down the stretch real soon. There's a new push, and it's being promoted pretty much entirely by big tech, Google, Twitter, these other things. When you go to look at a restaurant is a good example. There'll be a little tag there that says pro LGBTQ, basically, or LGBTQ friendly. Like, oh yeah, like a gay person is afraid to go to a restaurant. I mean, give me a break. It's the guy in the Trump hat that's afraid to go to the restaurant. It's the Christian that's being demonized, not the gay person. So that's already a twist of reality. But what I'm afraid is, because I didn't even think this at the time until I went to the restaurant. I've got a couple shirts that have Jesus Christ on them, and so I'm wearing a shirt that has Jesus Christ on it. It's from Rio de Janeiro, the Cristo Redentor, and so I'm walking up, and I see the sign on the side of this restaurant. We are pro LGBTQ friendly, like it's the new certification badge. And I'm walking up with my shirt, and I'm saying, huh, this is a recipe to ban me from eating at this restaurant. This is a recipe for labeling me as a hateful person because I have Jesus on my shirt. I have a feeling that this is coming down the stretch, and that they'll use restaurants as kind of the prelims to then say, oh, any place that's LGBTQ friendly, you can't have any association with Christianity or any Christian symbols or anything, because as they label it now, that's anti-LGBTQ, but that's just biblical. It's not like you promote that in your sermons. That's just a biblical thing. It's just a Christian thing. So how do you think that goes? I mean, is the demonization of Christians going to become so bad where you can't even go out in public with a crucifix around your neck, with I love Jesus on my shirt? I mean, I see it getting that bad.
Well, it's funny you mentioned that, because a couple weeks ago when all of this started happening, I actually have a few shirts. One of the shirts that I like wearing on my off days is a shirt of a man and a woman, and it says straight pride. They wear their gay pride shirts and their rainbow colored shirts. So, hey, I wear my straight pride shirt. And when I'm running my errands, when I'm out with my family, I take my family to a different city just to kind of hang out for a couple days. And I'm literally in Walmart, just kind of getting some snacks for my kids. And then a random individual just comes up to me as if they're already looking for me and said, "Hey, that's a nice purse in your basket there." And I said, "Well, that's my wife's." And he goes, "Yeah, it matches what you're wearing." He was being very aggressive towards me. And then I realized this guy's one of those LGBTQ people. And so, he's probably trying to intimidate me because he got in my face, and I got in his, and I showed him my shirt, and I said, "Yeah, do you like my shirt too? It says straight pride." At which point he disengaged and just walked off. And so, yeah, I definitely see the world is trying to demonize Christians because of the fact that the Bible tells us that in the end times, Christians are going to be the main enemies. They're going to be put to death. The Antichrist is going to come after them. Of the beast, which are Christians who are not going to take the mark of the beast, they're going to come after them, and people are going to kill Christians thinking that they're doing God a favor. So obviously right now we see a conditioning of that, where Christians are being blasted, they're being demonized, they're making people think, making the public think as though they're the real enemies. I mean, we're to a point where a group can say that we're a hate group and that we're the violent ones, and the way they prove it is by bombing our church. I mean, think about that. And you have tons of people out there who are saying, well, that's what you get. That's what you deserve. We're trying to keep Almighty friendly. And it's like, so you keep Almighty friendly by blowing up a church building. Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. So obviously there's a big conditioning going on here in society where, they're trying to condition the masses to think that if you're a Bible-believing Christian who holds true to the word of God, who preaches the Bible, you're the enemy of the state.
And there used to maybe be a time where there'd be sermons or even agendas that would be anti-LGBTQ or whatever. That's a thing of the past. Nobody focuses on that anymore. We've moved on. Good for them. That's fine. Nobody's complaining about it. Live and let live. But, I hope that the LGBTQ community understands how they're being used. They're being set up. They're being told, hey, you're victims, so you're fighting a righteous fight against Christianity now, who aren't even your enemies. They're not even posturing as your enemies. But, I look at, for example, Brandon Strock, who's part of the LGBT community. I mean, he doesn't